Hello YouTubers, this is Arkansas Boy here again. I just wanted to share a story. I was driving yesterday, and that's what I do, I drive. And when you're driving you have a lot of time to think. And I was thinking back to, I believe it was 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. Recently I just got back from overseas, and I had retired from the military, and the week after the hurricane hit I was down on the Gulf Coast. I was working for a security company out of England, securing FEMA assets basically. And I spent time in Waveland, where the I come across, and Biloxi, Gulfport, down in that area. And I got to thinking about it. Here we are. This was one city, well, one area, one small area, geographically speaking, of the whole country. Just one small area, and those people were just devastated, decimated. Everything was just turned upside down. It looked like a war zone. And I can't even begin to describe what a situation like that is really like. You almost have to be there. Where I live, we get a lot of tornadoes. I can't explain to someone what tornado damage would look like. You just would have to see it for yourself. It's truly amazing. But a hurricane, when that tidal surge comes in, and where I was at in Waveland, the tidal surge was something like 15 feet over my head where I was at. And it's amazing. The raw power involved with something like that is hard to comprehend. It's hard to get your mind around it. It really is. But what got me, we lived in tents. And we were paid well, and we were given a per diem amount per day in cash, because you had to have it. You couldn't have survived down there without it. The ATMs were, non-existent. Couldn't use a bank or anything like that. You just lost all basic service all at one time. It's basically, the end of the world as you know it situation. The Walmart, they had a Walmart Supercenter down there, and it had 14 feet of water in it, and just trashed that store bad. And it took a while before people could go in and clean it out enough just to get basic supplies. And the supplies that were in there were very basic, just the basic supplies you needed to survive. There were no frills, no extras, just what you needed to get you by. The only place, if you couldn't buy groceries, there was only one fast food establishment open in that area, and that was a Sonic. And somehow they were still open. They were the only ones open, and if you didn't have cash, you didn't pay and you didn't eat. But that place was so busy, trying to get in and out of there was just almost impossible. I can't speak for the people in New Orleans and what they went through and the horrors they faced, down there, but we at least had some basics. The semi-trailers came in fairly quickly with pallets of water. There were kitchens opening up all the time, and it's just hard for me to fathom something on a national scale. I just really couldn't imagine what it would be like if something was to happen in this country and we lost all basic service, you know. And, you know, you talk about the stuff hitting the fan is one thing, but if you combine that with a raw event without rule of law, then you're really going to have a big problem. And I feel so sorry for the people out there that are not preparing, who can't seem to see the writing on the wall. You know, I really honestly think that our heyday is pretty much over, and you know, as a country, and I hate to be negative about it, but you know, it's a fact of life. You know, great civilizations come and go. That's history. History has proved that. But you know, I would stress to anybody to be ready. You know, even, you know, start small. A week, you know, have a week's worth of supplies, then strive toward a month, and then 6 months, then a year. You know, if you can afford to do it all at one time, more power to you. That's awesome. A lot of us, you know, we don't have that ability. We're not made out of money, and you know, and I'm not knocking anybody for that, for having money and, you know, using it like that. I just strongly suggest, after what I saw after Hurricane Katrina, and after what I've seen after tornadoes have come through this area where I'm from, in Tornado Alley, prepare your family. Even if it's not an economic or a man-made calamity, if it's Mother Nature even, be prepared. It just makes sense. Protect your family and look out for them. That's just something that's, you know, kind of been on my mind and on my heart the last couple of days, and I just wanted to share it. You know, I hope we never have to go through something like Katrina, you know, on a national scale. That would be really bad. There is no way that the government of this country, FEMA or whoever, could even begin to provide anything for everybody. It's too much of a daunting task. After I saw how it was done down on the Gulf Coast, no, it can't be done. It's just too much. But anyway, I appreciate you watching this. Subscribe, like if you want, and you have a good day.